Greetings, this is Mr. Caslin. I got your line reviews homework. Now let's go over this. You seem to understand slope-intercept form well. Your process is good. The ones that you got wrong, it looks like we just need to make some small adjustments, and you'll see what you did wrong. What I'll do is I'll also send you the answer key. That way, the ones that you rework, I want you to rework them and then check them with the answer key, and then you should be ready probably for this tester quiz that's related to this. Okay. So the first two problems, you're understanding that slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b. You have to excuse me. I'm writing with a mouse, and my handwriting is bad enough. It's even worse with a mouse, so just bear with me. Now, remember, y is equal to mx plus b. To get the equation of a line, you fill in m. M is your slope, and b is actually your y-intercept. Remember, the x and y you leave as variables. You leave those as x and y. So the y-intercept is not the y location. Okay, it's actually b. So when you're filling this in, you got your slope right. You do 3x plus 3/4. Okay, now in an algebra equation, we're not going to work with decimals. We're going to leave everything as fractions. Okay, so instead of plugging it into this y, you want to plug it into the b, which is the y-intercept. You know, it won't be a bad idea for you to actually get out your work, and you can kind of look along with this video. That will be helpful. So it's a video. You can pause it if you need to go get your work. All right, the next problem, same thing. You got the slope right. Negative 4x plus 6. All right, so once you understand that y-intercept is your b, then these shouldn't be a problem for you. Okay, now your process for 3 and 4 were correct. Okay, your process for 3 and 4 was correct. It's just when you're finding the location of a point, remember a point is your x coordinate and then your y coordinate. Okay, so when you go find this location, you're going over 1 along the x-axis, and then you're going up 1, 2, 3. So the location of this point is 1, 3. I think you were interchanging those and putting 3, 1. Everything else you were doing is correct. The numbers that you were putting in were correct. It's just your final answer here down here didn't come out quite right because you had switched those. Okay, same thing on this problem. This location right here, your x is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a negative 4 in your x. And then your y is 1, 2, 3, a positive 4. Okay, which makes this one 0. I'm sorry, 4, 0. You're going 4 along your x and then 0 along your y. Okay, so you want to rework these. Go ahead and switch those x and y values, and then see what answer you get. Check it with my key. Okay, good work here. You did these exactly right. All right, you plugged in m, then you plugged in the y value and the x value. You solved for b. You got those. You got those correct straight across the board. So good work there. Now on these you have to. On these they give you 2 points. So you have to find the slope. I believe in the first one you got that correct. Just be careful. You want to remember you want to keep using fractions in your algebra equations. Decimals, sometimes you have to round them, not exact. So you got 1.5 for the y-intercept. You just want to keep that as 3 over 2. So 3 over 2 is the same as 1.5. Okay, now there's something that's going to help you on a tester quiz. When you get an answer and you're trying to see if this is right, you can utilize your calculator. Okay, what you want to do is you can put in your answer here. Let's see, 9 divided by 4. You know what, whenever you're doing a fraction on these graphing calculators, it's probably a good idea to wrap them in parentheses. So 9 divided by 4x plus 3 divided by 2. Okay, now we're actually not that interested in the graph itself. What we're interested in is, remember the xy table I was showing you? If this is actually the equation of the line, then these 2 points should be on our line. So what you're looking for here is, you're looking for 6 Well, that's 615. Something's wrong. I actually have a feeling, did I not put this right in here? Let's see. 9 fourths x plus 3 over 2. Oh, because it's minus, sorry. Oh, I see what we did wrong. Okay, so this is definitely a minus. It's a subtraction. Okay, so if I would have put that in correctly the first time, we're going to go here, and you're going to see how 6, 12 is on our line, and then 2, 3. So these points should, if you look at the table, they should be on that line. Okay, here's what threw me off as I was looking at your answer. And what you want to do is, Mrs. Bond will probably want you to get rid of your double signs. What that means is if you write 9 over 4x plus, you wrote plus a negative 1.5. Okay, here's those pesky negative signs. When you're adding a negative, it's the same as a subtraction. So she probably will want you to change that to a subtraction. And we said 1 over 5 is 3, 2. Okay, some teachers actually take off if you leave a double sign. So if you're adding a negative, that's the same as a subtraction. If you're subtracting a positive, that's the same as a subtraction. Okay, if you're subtracting a negative, remember double negatives become positive. Okay, positive and positive make positive, negative and negative make. A double negative is positive. Okay, so you want to clean up all those double signs. Okay, this next one, remember these are tricky just because of the way they're written. This is function notation. All you want to do on this is change this function notation to ordered pairs. In other words, the number inside of the f, okay, that's your x value. So just make that 3, negative 5. Okay, just make this next one 2, 6, and those are going to be your 2 points. Okay, that's it. I'd go into a big long explanation of what the f of 3 means and all that, but really all you need to just change that to 3, negative 5, 2, 6. Work this problem like you did the others. So you may not have interpreted those correctly into points, so you want to rework that one and then check my key for the answer in that one. All right, on these, now this problem is much easier than you made it. They're giving you the y-intercept, okay? In fact, she gave you all this space to work, and guess what? The answer is just, we know it's parallel. Remember, lines that are parallel have the same slope. So 1/2 x. Okay, now you're used to plugging in like the x and the y, right, and solving for b. Well, guess what? The y-intercept, remember, is b. Okay, so really all you have to do is plug in b. Okay, it's almost like a trick question because it's so easy. Okay, remember, y-intercept is b. I think once you understand that some of these problems are going to be easier for you. Okay, nice work on this next one. You got this one all the way. You got this correct. All right, you said that. You remembered that perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocals. Okay, and then you plugged in x, y, solved for b, and it was y is equal to 1/2 x plus 3. All right. Now, there's some work to do on this page. This is the page you're going to have to, I think, study the most. The other 2 pages that were just small adjustments that you have to make. On this one, it turned out you really didn't know what point slope and standard form were. So if you need to, check on your book. Okay, check on the internet, or just remember right here what these formulas were. Point slope, remember, is y minus y1 is equal to slope times x minus x1. Okay, so you want to make yourself a card or something where you can memorize this going into your test. Okay, once you do this, the rest of it's not hard. All you do is substituting these values. M is negative 3. And the point that they give you, that's your first y and your first x. So just plug those into the x1, y1. Okay, so it's going to be y minus 9. Sorry about my writing here. Is equal to negative 3 x minus 1. Okay, So it just says write it in point slope form. That's all there is to it. Okay, so then try this next one and then look at the key, double check your answer. All right, so just memorizing this formula is the only hard part, and then remember that you're going to substitute m, and then you're going to substitute y1 and x1. Now be careful, if one of these points is negative, if that was a -9, then you get y minus -9. There's that double sign again. Make sure you change that to a positive. Okay, that's a different problem. That's as if this was a -9. Okay, and then finally standard form. This is something else you want to write down. You want to memorize this right before you go into your test on this. Okay, standard form is ax plus by is equal to c. So really all you need to know is your x term goes first, then your y term, and on the other side of the equation you put your constant. Okay, there's two rules to this though. There's no fractions. Terrible writing, sorry. No fractions, and you want your a to be positive. Okay, so if your a is negative, multiply everything by -1. If you have a fraction, multiply everything by the denominator. Maybe I'll work on that real quickly. Okay, so all you're doing is you want the a to be positive, so I'd keep the 2x on this side. You want the y to come over here, so you're going to subtract y from both sides. Remember, when a term ends up on the other side, its sign is opposite. And then the -5 ends up over here. Now you want to write in ax plus by is equal to c. Okay, so you would swap these. It's equal to -5. So in this case, a is equal to 2. B is equal to -1. Remember, they're hidden 1 here. And C is equal to -5. Okay, so once you understand that, again, these problems are not hard. There's not a lot of work to them. It's just put in that format. This one here, you want a positive x, so 3x is going to end up on, well, you know what, there's a couple ways we can do this. Let's show you a different way. If we leave the x where it is, get -3x, right? If you subtract y from both sides, you get a -y, those cancel, and you get equal to 3. Now remember, we said you had to have a positive a, so you'd multiply everything here by -1. So that's just going to switch the signs of everything. You'd get 3x. We're distributing. Negative times negative is a positive. Negative times negative is a positive. Negative times a positive is a negative. There is standard form. Okay, now we didn't encounter a problem with a fraction, but say you had something like 1/2 x plus 2y is equal to 3. Okay, the order is, this is correct order for standard form, but we have a fraction here. So what you want to do is you have a denominator, multiply everything by that denominator. Okay, multiply everything by 2. Okay, 1/2 times 2 is 1, so this becomes 1x, also known as just x. And you get 4y. And then don't forget to multiply the constant by 2 also, is equal to 6. Standard form, we have no fractions, and our a is positive. We have a positive 1. All right, good work. I don't think we need to meet on this subject again. I think if you make some corrections, maybe try these problems again, the ones you didn't get right, and check the key, you should be good to go. The good thing about a video is you can watch it. If I went too fast or you need to look something over, you can watch it again. All right, we'll talk to you later.